Hello, beautiful people. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Honest am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletter, a bi-weekly newsletter geared towards millennials who are truly trying to get their shit together. And I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives and to teach us how to become spiritual beings. A little bit about me. I do not use the tarot. I use God and customs in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop showing me to God, it will not stop me. Let's go ahead and get into it. I hope that this message finds you guys well regarding engaging ancestors. The information you being worthy for us to hear at this time. Please bring these messages to me. Now in my life. Two cards, please. Alright. The two cards that came out, wow, is Adventure and Grace, which is kind of exciting. I really just get the energy that we are about to go on an adventure. Angel number 103, and I feel like God is saying to just handle this gracefully. Maybe you have kind of been in a place of stagnancy lately. And maybe you've just been doing like a lot of internal work, but you haven't really seen that big payoff. For some reason, I feel like it's about to happen. And if not, and if it's not about to happen like within the next month or so, I feel like God is saying by the end of the year, you're going to be lift off into a new adventure. So just handle this year gracefully, have fun, don't take life so seriously. But let's actually go to the cards and get some more information. Because I actually feel like this is low-key becoming an energy update. So God, dear God, guardian angels, ancestors, clarify this message of adventure and grace. What adventure are we going on? What's our energy towards adventure and grace? Or what do you deem worthy for us to know at this time? Any potential obstacles, roadblocks, allow no room for doubt or confusion? Let's see what this message is about. Adventure and grace. Very interesting. It's like, nah. Okay. So for adventure, we have the moon coming out, and with the moon, we have two women that's standing under the moon in the nude. And then we have like this little scary thing out in the back. This deals with, the moon is all about our subconscious and like things coming to light. It also talks about those things that we really don't want to deal with. So like those things that are deep under the surface that we don't want to deal with. With this moon, with this card coming out under adventure, I feel like what God is about to say is that if you have been doing a lot of shadow work, if you have been like say really working on overcoming your fears, looking at some of your subconscious beliefs, say like you've been doing a lot of yoga, a lot of meditation, maybe a lot of sleep hypnosis tracks. I feel like what God is saying is that all of that hard work that you have been doing is going to pay off. And say if you haven't, Angel number 320, been doing some of that hard work, I feel like what God is saying is that you are about to go on an adventure of your emotions, like a roller coaster of emotions. And you're going to feel like there's a lot of stuff that's just coming to light. But what God is saying is be like these women, be very playful with it. Like don't take life so seriously. Like I feel like you are about to go through a time where you're going to be triggered heavily. And I just say that because, okay, let's put it this way. We have to understand that a part of the healing journey is not going to be, the healing journey is a healing journey, right? Duh. But it's not going to be all sunshines and roses. There are going to be times where you have to face these things that are deep down in your subconscious, these scary things and emotions. You're going to have to look at not only the ways that you have betrayed the ways that other people have betrayed you, but ways that you have betrayed yourself. And sometimes you're not even aware of that until you're triggered or something comes up to make you realize like, damn, like, oh wow, like I'm a kind of crazy person. An example of this is when I watched Malcolm and Marie, it was really, really uncomfortable for me to watch that movie because I saw a lot of myself, and actually in both of those characters. I have an article on Honestly Sis that talks all about this, but it just was really, really eye-opening for me. And I realized, angel number 446, like how toxic I was and how I really thrived off of drama. Like I thought that the drama, you know, the makeup sex, the fighting, the anxiety, like I thought all of that shit was just a part of a relationship. And like, you know, so I would look forward to that. And sometimes I would like start it, you know, like I would initiate it. And then it just made me realize, like, I don't want to be that type of person. Like, that's not how I want to be in relationships. That's not how I want to operate. Like, I want to be in a safe space. Like, I want to be in a safe space. So I say all that to say that sometimes when you first see it, it's not going to feel good. It's going to be like, it's going to be uncomfortable. But because God is giving you this warning that you're about to go through this season, I just ask that you don't take it so seriously. I feel like a lot of people get stuck on a healing journey, or they don't really go on the other side, is because they start getting like hit with some of these triggers and like have to deal with some of the negative and the ugly parts of it. And instead of like facing it, going through with it and dealing with it, they back away. I actually was talking to, I'm so excited. One of my friends, Jamika, she's actually going to be she's going to be in our March, Honestly Sis, Honest Chat. And it's going to be like all about self-care and like therapy. And it's like telling the truth. It's like sometimes self-care looks like you falling down, crying in your fucking bathroom. You know, sometimes the fucking self-care, the healing journey looks like you having an ugly ass cry in the bathroom because you realize all the ways you betrayed yourself. And like, that's just a part of it. So I just feel like God is saying, don't get so caught up in it. Really see the truth of it. Last thing, I do feel like for some of you guys, even though it's just because I'm reading the energy in the card and not really what the card is standing for, some of you guys are about to go on like, you're about to meet like some of your soul family, some of your tribes. Like you're really about to go on an adventure, and it's going to require for you to be nude and for you to be bare. And it's not like nude, literally nude, but like bare with your emotions, and you're going to have to approach relationships differently. And so that's an adventure that you're going to go on. I actually have an article on Honestly Sis that talks about like, what if life is just one big adventure? Like, what if this is just what life is? It's like us going through all of these different, you know, peaks and valleys, and, you know, all these different awakenings and occurrings. Like, what if that's just what life is about? Like, and I just feel like we are all about to go on an adventure. So if you've been doing, I kind of went on a tangent, angel number 735. So if you've been doing a lot of healing work, God is about to say you're about to start seeing some of that rewards. All of that inner work is about to bloom outwardly. If you have not done that, you're about to go through a great seasoning of awakening, of dealing with some of those subconscious beliefs, really looking your fears in your face. But God is saying, don't take it so lightly. Just have fun with it. And for the very, very last one of you guys, some of you guys are about to start meeting your soul family, where you're going to have to start approaching relationships differently, where you're going to have to be vulnerable and emotional maybe, and face some of your fears and go through dark caves. You know, you're not really going to know the outcome. And God is just saying, have fun with it. That's the moral of the story. Have fun with it, no matter where you end up on the spectrum. For Grace, what came out is justice. And I really, really love this, because I feel like what God is saying, like I was telling you guys about, if you've done the work, like it's going to pay off. Like we have to realize that our soul does not know right or wrong. Our soul only knows lessons. Our soul only knows, like, you have to understand that the whole purpose that the world was created is because God wanted to experience Himself. He wanted to experience Himself in different varieties and forms. And so He created Himself and put Himself in different varieties and forms. That's what life is about, right? And so when God put His expression in you, there's something in your soul that your soul wants to understand. And I was actually just starting and writing an article before I logged on. Like, say for example, my soul, I genuinely feel like, because of my family history, My soul is on a journey of what it means to have unconditional love. What does it mean to have true love? What does it mean to be nurtured and protected, right? And so my soul we've experienced a lot of the bad side. And so now my soul is longing to see what is the other side of that. I've experienced the abuse, the neglect, the blah, the betrayal, all the bullshit. But what's on the other side of that? And that's what God is trying to get you to understand about this message of grace with justice. Yes, there's going to be triggers that are going to come up. Yes, there are things that you're going to have to face, but you're facing them so that you can get on the other side of it. So often, a lot of us don't go after our dreams. We don't get the love we want because we get our feelings hurt, and then we just stop. Something happened, an obstacle has occurred, and then we take this as though it's God's way of saying you're not supposed to have it. Instead of realizing that that is just the journey of life. Everybody is going to have something they're going to have to overcome. Your overcoming may be having no parent, like not having a parent who loves you. Your thing that you may have to overcome may be, your obesity. Maybe, you learning to take care of yourself. It may be, whatever the fuck it is, your money issues. We all have things we have to overcome. You got molested as a child. Now you got to overcome it. That's the fucking requirement as a human. Everybody has something that they have to overcome. And if you don't believe that, let's think about Oprah. Oprah has been in our households now, angel number 1113, for how many decades? 3 or 4 decades now? And we've seen Oprah at her highest of highs, right? But then we also saw when Oprah started on, and when it was looking like Oprah wasn't going to make it, and everybody was doing all of these think pieces and talking about, Oprah, Oprah, she this, she should have stuck to the talk shows, and we saw how fucked up On was at first, but then guess what? She got on the other side of that. She kept going. And now look at On. Now look at her. Now we can't even remember. I mean, other than the Michael Jackson incident, I'm still looking at Oprah a little sideways about that, but me and her can personally talk about that together. But now look at Oprah. Angel number 1202. Now look at On. What if she would have gave up? And that's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Last thing I want you guys to understand. Recently, I have been trying to work out again. But ease myself back into it. And so I'm on my day 2, to be completely honest. But when I tell you I woke up this morning and my body was just so sore. It was just oh my God, I cannot possibly move. And I started stretching a little bit, and there was a moment where I'm this is discouraging me from wanting to work out because I don't want to feel this much pain. But then I got up, I started to stretch, and then I started doing the stairs, and all of those aches and those pains, it actually felt better when I started running up the stairs because it was I was stretching those muscles and using it again. So I realized, I'm wow, just working out, just getting your body back in habit, it shows you that change is not going to be easy. It's not going to be an overnight process. It's going to be, you're going to have to learn to do things differently. You're going to have to use different muscles. The muscles that you have never used before are going to be sore. They're going to be scary. They're going to feel like they're going to break or this is the end. But eventually, if you keep working out and you keep showing up, you're going to see that weight loss, and you're not even going to worry about the soreness and think about how you were those first couple of days. So the moral of the story here is to keep going. It's to realize that life is nothing but a big adventure. Your soul is nothing. All your soul is trying to do is get on from one part of the spectrum to the other end. So if you have had a life that has been so fucked up, so abused, so blah, 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 I want you to know that what your soul is trying to do is get yourself on the other side of that equation. But to get there is going to be things you have to overcome. There's going to be scary things in the waters. There's going to have to be shadows. But look at it as an adventure. Don't take it so seriously, okay? And if you don't take it so seriously, right? The last thing that God is saying is if you approach your life that way, if you approach the things that are going to come up as triggers, if you know that everything that your soul is going through is just to get you on the other side of the equation, God is saying, just know, angel number 1440, you don't have time for dealing with the petty BS. This Five of Swords, it looks like this woman has said something to this, like, it looks like she just low-key cussed these two people out. And now she looking back like, oh shit, I did not mean to say that. I shouldn't have said that. And maybe this is actually making sense to me, because maybe that is a lot of you guys. You find yourself constantly in this place of where your mouth is getting you in trouble. Whew, I know that's me. I know that's me. My mouth stay getting me in trouble. But I feel like what God is saying is that instead of beating yourself up, instead of being like, fuck, why do I keep doing it? Let's look at it. Let's go on an adventure and figure out, why do your mouth keep getting you in trouble? Why do you keep saying shit that, like, why do you keep saying shit to cut people down? Like, why you can't just listen? Why are you so defensive? Why, I feel like what God is saying is take opportunities for conflict or things that you normally will beat yourself up for and be like, oh, I do this all the time. Instead of just saying, I do this all the time, ask yourself, why am I doing this all the time? Where did I learn this habit? What am I trying to get from this? And then maybe you can get on the other side of it, okay? All right, angel number 1515. I'm going to be quiet. And actually, let's go ahead and get us into the vortex. God, what is this message of adventure and grace all about? God, what do you want us to understand about us going through this season of triggers? How can we use triggers to get us closer to our dreams, God? Or what do you want to say about this message of adventure, grace, the moon, justice, and the Five of Swords? Allow no room for doubt or confusion. What do we need to know? What do we need to know? What do we need to know? Okay. I love it. And one card came flying out. I can attract relationships that agree with my desires. I love this. I can attract relationships that agree with my desires. What God is saying is that, say, for example, you say what you want, and that person is like, feel like you're unreasonable or this, and it brings up all of these insecurities from your past. Instead of staying there or being like, I'm unlovable, go on an adventure to ask yourself, like, why do I want what I want? Or go on an adventure and ask yourself, like, how did I even end up in the partnership that I'm in? But don't take my word for it. We're going to get some more words here. People are not finding it difficult to find the mate of their dreams because that person is not out there, but because of their own contradiction to their own desires and the thought they offer about the subject every day. When you consistently offer thoughts about your future relationships that feel good while you think about them, that means you are constantly matching the desires that you have discovered as you live life. And under those conditions, only someone in agreement with your desires can come to you. Let's read this one more time. When you consistently offer thoughts about your future relationship that feels good when you think them. So you get in a conflict. It brings up all of your insecurities. Instead of staying stuck in your insecurities, go on an adventure and ask yourself, well, what's the other side of this? An example of this is, I want to go to therapy. My partner don't want to go to therapy. The other side of this is, instead of focusing on, well, why he don't want to go to therapy, or what does this relationship mean, and all I'm going to focus on is, I want to be with a partner who I can freely communicate with. I want to be a partner who sees the world in the same way as me. When you think that way, then you move that way. The universe has no choice but to deliver you an outcome. When you think that way, Justice, 1909, you move that way. You speak that way. You move that way. The universe has no choice but to deliver you the person of your dreams. Did you catch it? I'm going to go back because I want you to get it. because this also came out. I'll envision the behavior I desire. So you get into a conflict with your partner. It brings out insecurities about your past. Instead of staying stuck on the insecurities, crying at the moon, all this other stuff, looking at the stuff in the dark waters, pulling yourself under, you're going to put yourself on an adventure, and you're going to think about the type of partner you do want to have. What's the other side of this? Oh, he doesn't make me feel included. He never wants me to go out with him. Instead of feeling like I'm lonely, I'm a loser, this is the only relationship I'm going to have, we're going to know that it's our birthright to have somebody who loves us and who supports us. And we're going to think about, well, I've experienced somebody who treats me like an option. I want to experience somebody who's going to treat me right, who's going to treat me like a queen and treat me like a priority. Angel number 2020. You think that way, and then you move that way. So that means that now the boundary of somebody treating you less than a queen is no longer tolerated. Somebody that makes you feel like you have to tiptoe around their feelings, tiptoe around what you say, is no longer tolerated. When you do that, God has no choice but to deliver you the love that is meant for you. Okay? All right. I'm actually going to leave that message there because I feel like that was a perfect little contrived message. This is God trying to get you to understand that you can attract the relationship of your desires. And I actually feel like what he's saying is that through your heartbreak, through the conflict, is how you can attract it. So it's like every time you find yourself in conflict in relationships, really look at it as an opportunity to really hone in on those things that you want. And the reason why I say use the conflict as an opportunity is because so often when we get into arguments in our relationship, the first thing that we think about is like, oh, this always happens to me. I'm so unlovable. Nobody's going to support me, blah, 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 blah. But if we just know, we use God's grace and our power of being a spiritual being and be like, you know what? I just want somebody who gets me, somebody who understands me, somebody who respects me. You move that way. You speak that way. You move away from the bullshit. God will deliver you a fresh new cup of love. Okay, I'm done. Let's give her the Sufi cup and get us on out of here. All right, God, clarify this message. And this low-key was a love reading that I didn't even want to do. This was interesting. It was an interesting reading. All right, God, clarify this message of adventure and grace. What are you trying to get us to understand that about us having the ability to attract the relationship or our desires, and doing that through conflict, God? How can we use these moments of frustration, these moments of doubt to get us closer to our dreams and the love that is meant for us? Allow no room for doubt or confusion. How can we get closer to the love we desire? Angel number 12. Fine wine. Listen to advice. Guidance is needed to cross the ocean of life. This card came out and it said listen to advice, ocean of life. I'm thinking about this moon card. I feel like what God is saying is that you really need to heed this message. If you are calling yourself a spiritual being, or you saying that you're on a spiritual journey, if you have moments of conflict, do not allow that to like backtrack you or make you feel like this doesn't mean this is for you. I really want you to use these moments of conflict to springboard you closer and closer to the life of your dreams. But the message that we're going to focus on right now is fine wine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Angel number 2322. Let's see what this message is about. Oh heart, learn from the unopened bud. Stop complaining about encloses. Oh heart, learn from the unopened bud. Stop complaining about enclosure. Don't you know the morning breezes untie all that is closed? The cure for the hardened heart is the temptation of love. Raise your head. The remedy is here, and so is the one that heals. Hurts. Something is capturing your heart and pulling you close. Is it the presence of the beloved or the feeling of missing love? Sufi sages have written for ages about the transformative potential of longing. They consider longing for love as the medicine for every heart. The pain of the heart is the thread that takes you to heal the sickness of your soul. Hearts is calling you to follow him into a new way of being in this world. He invites you to say yes to the incredible unfolding and feeling of blossoming. blossoming. Remember, dear one, that the longing for love is an absolute necessity. Remember, dear one, that the longing for love is an absolute necessary part of life. I apologize. Let me start over. Remember, dear one, the longing for love is an absolutely necessary part of life. The fire of love increases in the state of longing, while the excitement decreases when we relentlessly remember, dear one, that the longing for love is absolutely necessary part of life. The fire of love increases in the state of longing, while the excitement decreases when we relentlessly remain in the arms of the beloved. Like everything that is created, love has a dual nature, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. The masculine side of love is, I love you. Love's feminine quality is, I am waiting for you. I am longing for you. It is the feminine side of love, the longing for the lover, the cup waiting to be filled, that leads the lover to the beloved. Sufi wisdom is inviting you not to feel badly. Your longing will soon enrich your life by giving you goals to achieve. You are experiencing a primal pain, the pain of separation. Embrace the suffering and allow it to lead you deeply within yourself. Be assured that it will take you deeper and away from the prison of your limited self to the freedom and the wholeness of your divine nature. Your mantra for this week is, propel me into the divine sweetness of love of the beloved. Propel me into the divine sweetness of love of the beloved. Pour the divine wine into me. Fill me and drink from my lips. Let me glimpse a sweet moment of the paradise of love. Propel me into the divine sweetness of the love of the beloved. Pour the divine wine into me. Fill me and then drink from my lips. Let me glimpse a sweet, wonderful moment of the paradise of love. Propel me into the divine sweetness of love of the beloved. Pour the divine wine into me. Fill me and then drink from my lips. Let me glimpse a sweet, wonderful moment of the paradise of love. Ashe. So I feel like that was kind of crazy. I kind of feel like this whole message, especially with this Sufi message, is just about God, like letting you know that it's okay for you to want love. It's okay. It's actually very natural for you to want love, companionship, community. That is like love is actually one of the human necessities of life. And so what God is saying is that your desire to have a fulfilling relationship, a mutually fulfilling relationship where you feel loved, nurtured, and seen is very valid. And God sees that. He knows that you want it. And what he's trying to get you to understand is that if you find yourself in relationships where you don't feel seen, loved, and nurtured, instead of making this feel like you can't have it, you're not worthy of it, God is saying, take these moments of conflict, these moments of frustration, and just really visualize the person that you truly want. Instead of honing in or thinking about, well, I'm so fucked up, this always happens to me, really, really think about, the type of person you want, why you don't want to feel this way, what type of partner you will have that would never make you feel that way. And then work on pouring that love into yourself. When you do that, eventually the love that you want will get to you. All right, y'all. That's all the messages I have for you. If you made it to the end of this message, please give me a thumbs up. If you made it to the end of this message, you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you, and never, ever, ever let the universe tell you what you cannot do. Talk to you soon. Bye.